I can remember at San Jose State walking through the campus in my one fantastic outfit that I bought at the Velvet Underground in downtown San Francisco that was like silky bell bottoms and a silky top and really high heel shoes, kind of like the ones I'm wearing right now, and long hair and carrying my Goya classical guitar and walking through and thinking to myself, do you all know who I am? And of course I'm nobody, but I'm thinking, do you know who I am? Because I am somebody. In fact, I am actually a rock star already, because in my heart I was.
Everybody has a story, and there is something to be learned from every experience.
Knowing who you are, that's the foundation of everything great.
I mean, in a way, I'm here because all my plans failed.
Don't be afraid to do something unconventional, to take a chance, to risk something.
If you want something, you can make it happen.
And we're all on the same journey.
Just wake up curious.
We are not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be whole.
Follow your own muse, always.
When you learn, teach. Use your life as a class. She has the look, the songs, and the unmistakable voice. Stevie Nicks has always been a rock star. Always. From writing her first song as a teenager to meeting guitar legend Lindsey Buckingham and beginning one of rock's most tumultuous love affairs, Stevie's life has been filled with stratospheric highs and crushing lows. As the lead singer of supergroup Fleetwood Mac, she became rich and famous almost overnight, and then the sex and drugs caught up with the rock and roll. Cocaine, then a serious prescription drug addiction, took many of what Stevie says could have been her most creative years. Incredibly, she survived. Now she continues to tour the world as part of her chart-topping solo career and with Fleetwood Mac. And each time she takes the stage, she's doing what she loves most. And yet, just like when she was a little girl singing duets with her grandfather, for Stevie, it's always been about the music.
My granddad was the first person that really brought music to me, and he brought it to me very young. He started singing to me when I was really little, and I instantly took to it. He was a really good fiddle player. He was a great harmonica player, and he wrote really good songs. I can remember him coming to our house and spending a week and getting out his guitar, and he'd play guitar, and I'd sing with him, and I'm little. But I would still manage to, be kind of very conscious of who he was and what he was doing. And he would sing different crazy country songs for me, and we would actually be able to pump out a little duet here and there. And I was thrilled. And I think he knew from the very, very beginning that this was going to be something that I would probably want to do too, because I just took to it like a fish to water. My mother was always totally supportive of me and whatever I wanted to do, even as a young girl. But she was also very strict with me, and she was hard on me in a lot of ways because she wanted me to be independent. And that's because she was very poor when she was young. So she really, rose up above the fray to be independent at 16. And she wanted me to not ever have to depend on anyone. And she wanted me to be fearless. So I, had to work for everything I got. And I didn't get to buy really expensive clothes in high school. And my mom made a lot of my clothes. From the day she married my dad, she took care of all the money, and she took 50% out of every one of my dad's checks and put it in the bank. And my mom would always say to me, you better be the president of your company, or the lead singer of your band, or the boss, because you don't like to be told what to do. And she was totally right. My mother kept me very close. So because she kept me so close, and because she kept me home a lot, she continually was telling me all her little wise ways to get through life. So she was always talking to me about life, always. She taught me about rules, even though I don't love rules. I understood that there were rules, and I followed them because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't ever want her to be mad at me. So I learned that there are things that you could do and things that you couldn't do. My mom just passed away in December. She got emphysema and pneumonia, and she passed away very unexpectedly. And so I thought I had years left to ask her all those questions that I wanted to ask her. And then she was gone, and I didn't get to. It wasn't because I didn't want to sit down with her and talk to her about her life. It was just because I just didn't think she was going anywhere. I have really been soul-searching about the fact that there's a lot of stuff that I'm never going to know because I didn't sit down with her and ask her. And that's been a very hard lesson for me. So my advice to everybody that still has their parents is make sure that you sit down and talk to them about what they did when they were kids and what they were like when they were young and when they were first married and all those things, because you really lose out if you don't. Time waits for no one, and things can end tomorrow. So if there's stuff you want to know, find out. I got a guitar when I was 15 and a half, almost 16. And I wrote a song. And that was my, and I, you know, gathered my parents in my room, listened to this, played the guitar, played my song, and they were both like, you know what, that's a really good song. And so from that moment onward, they were, I think they went, you know what, that's what she's gonna go in that direction. I met Lindsey Buckingham at a gathering in my senior year at Menlo Atherton High School in San Francisco. I went to this party that I don't really remember what it was. And Lindsey was sitting in a chair over in the corner, playing his guitar, and he was singing California Dreaming. And of course I knew that song. And I brazenly walked over and burst into song. And I think he was a little surprised because it really was kind of a gutsy thing to do. But luckily, I'm a good singer and I knew the words, and I'm a really good harmony singer. So I was able to just, you know, whip up to the Michelle Phillips, Mama Cass part in a second. And so we sang, you know, 3/4 of the song, sang it out. And then I think I walked away. I probably said, hi, I'm Stevie Nicks, and he probably said, hi, I'm Lindsey Buckingham. He tells a different story. He says that I actually reached down and like kissed him on the cheek or something. I don't remember that. But he says that happened. So maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Then I didn't see Lindsey again until his band, his drummer, actually called me. And they asked me, well, Lindsey remembered, you know, that night where you sang with him at that party, and would you like to be in our band? We're looking for a girl singer. And I said to myself, what kind of band is this, you know? Because a phone call like that, it could be any kind of a band. And so the guy who was the drummer, who was very, very funny and very dry, he said, Stevie, this is San Francisco. It's a rock band. And I'm like, yes. I'm thinking, okay, I can do it. I think I can do it. Okay, I can do it. I mean, I have walked around with my brush singing Take Another Little Piece of My Heart with Janis Joplin around my house, so I can probably do this. So I said, yeah, sure, I can do it. I'd love to do it. And I asked my parents, and they said, you can be in a band, and your father and I will totally let you do that, but you have to go to college. You can't just quit school. If you stay in school, we will support you. So I found out then that Lindsey lived in the same gated community that my mom and dad and me and my brother lived in. So on Monday, I showed up at his house at 5:30, and the whole band, all 5 people in the band, including me, were there, and I just started learning songs. I was able to go to practice from 5:30 to 10:30 every night, and then I was able to play a gig on Friday and Saturday night, and then I was able to have, you know, Sunday to study, and then I would study when I would get home at 10:30 until 2 or 3 or 4, and get up and start again. As long as I did that, my mom and dad were fine. Lindsey and I both had a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and we really weren't interested in each other at all. We were in a band together. It was really great, and we were the 2 lead singers standing, you know, right there, and it was a really good band. And that was, you know, 68, 69, 70, into just barely into 71, which was the best part of San Francisco music ever. So we were right in the middle of the Woodstock years. And we played everywhere, and we opened for every big band that was up in San Francisco at that time. From Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Frost Amphitheater, the Fillmore, Avalon Ballroom, Winterland, and everything in between. It was a marvelous time to live in San Francisco.
In 2 weeks.
Most of the world didn't even know